Hello, this is Talk of Taz Live, and we have been interviewing the cast of the amazing gospel stage play, A Brownie. The Brownie, the Unforgettable Trip. And so today we're in for a treat. I'm hoping that all of these fabulous actors will be able to join us because we got some questions for them and we're speaking. So this is going to be one, I believe, for the record. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
How are you doing?
let me see. I'm okay. I'm good.
You good? Okay, now, because I already told this is going to be one for the record. I just don't know what we're going to get into today.
Well, I just gotta make sure he didn't see me on here.
Okay, okay, okay.
No.
Okay. Am I missing anybody? Let me make
Sister,
sure. Hello.
Sister Wright, she snuck on.
She snuck on. Okay.
Yeah.
And she could have let them know that she was on, and she told me to keep it down, keep it down.
Be sure the cable is a thing and give the support for us.
Thank you.
Okay, I know. But you amongst friends today. You amongst friends today, and you can be yourself. You can be yourself today, Sister Right. Mm-hmm. You can be yourself. Hello.
Hello,
Hi. How you doing, Felicia?
I'm
And
doing good.
good, good, good.
Kedra.
Kid, that's what I was going to say. You got the announcement secretary with you, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else trying to join us.
Hopefully Champagne will join us. Hopefully.
Okay. Well, I keep putting out, I've been in the community for a while, and maybe it's my fault she hadn't joined us because I keep talking about her and the pastor and Pastor Craig, so she may have turned from her wicked ways. So,
Oh.
I don't know. Mm.
Uh.
Well, somebody said, oh, I guess that's not it, huh? Mm. Okay. Well, I am here with Sister Wright, our director, Felicia, and we've got Kedra, who's the announcement secretary. So, for those who don't know what this gospel stage play is about, and the play is going to be on April the 29th, I'm going to ask Felicia to give you guys a quick synopsis of what the play is about, and then we're going to start talking to some of these folks we got with us, okay?
All right. So first of all, let me say thank you, Teresa. Again, you have been an outstanding interviewer.
Thank you.
We have loved talking with you. And so the Brownie, an unforgettable trip, is about a group of church members who believe that they got it all together. They don't follow line by line, precept on precept, and when the time comes that they're going to enter into heaven when God calls them home, that their name is in the book of life. Well, they go on this trip along with the head usher, Sister Nadine Simmons, who runs everything. And on this trip, they have a terrible accident. And when they wake up, they're standing in the midst of Judgment Day. And there are a lot of surprises for some folks who thought that they might be making it in. It is full with a lot of drama. It's got domestic abuse, it's got verbal abuse, it's got religious hypocrisy, a little bit of everything that's going on anyway. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Now, since you said all that, what if I get triggered? Y'all gonna be able to help me? Because that's a whole lot of heavy stuff y'all gonna be showing me. Is there anybody help me if I get triggered?
Well, we have a trigger content warning also associated with the production, and we will have social workers on site to be there to talk with individuals if they get triggered, or it could be that maybe they just, know someone that has been in that situation and maybe they just decide they want to talk about it. So, yeah, we'll have individuals there.
Okay, so that means then I'm gonna say it a different way. You know you want to come see this stage play because these people are off the chain. And don't try to say, oh, it may make me feel bad. Go on out there, see the play, and
Set
if you need
yourself
to
free.
talk with somebody, talk with them. Because this could be the way that you get your breakthrough.
Breakthrough.
And there's
That's
going to
right.
be people right there waiting to talk to you.
That's
So
right.
don't use that as an excuse now, okay? So go on out there and
That's right.
support them. And let me just say this before I get started. If you don't live in Mississippi, that's okay. We're going to have DVDs made, and Felicia is interested in taking the play to your community. So if you've been listening to us and you think your community needs to see this play, just reach out to Felicia. We'll be glad to see if we can work out something and bring it to your community, because everybody needs to see this play before it's too late, because Judgment Day can sneak up on us, and we don't want to be in maybe some of the shoes that these people are going to be in. But I don't know what shoes they're going to be in, but, you know, just in general, everybody don't make it in. So we'll make sure you make it in, okay? So I'm going to start this way. The announcement secretary, Kendra Thomas, is playing the announcement secretary. You know, it's something about the announcement secretary in a church, and she's at the Greater Trials Missionary Baptist Church. Now, tell me, how did you get in position, and do you like getting up there, looking at them people, and then trying to read these announcements? Talk to me.
Nadine picked me, and yes, ma'am, I enjoy it. I get a chance to express my singing ability, and then to read these announcements, and they're hilarious. Yes, ma'am, I love it. It's hilarious.
Bless your heart. And you said Nadine picked you?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Nadine's a very funny character.
Yes, she is, and she picked you, huh? It's your
Yes,
soul.
ma'am.
And did you say that you get to sing when you up there reading the announcements?
I do. I love it.
Oh, well, every time I talk with people in the community about this church, it seems like it's a big production entertainment. So you, the church secretary, excuse me, not church secretary, because they'll get me for that. You, the announcement secretary. And so you go up there and put on a show, bless your soul, put on a show, then you get around to reading the announcements.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen another church announcement secretary do it that way?
No.
Well, why do you do it that way? Oh, somebody got some, they just laughing. Why are you doing it that way? I don't understand.
Well, I
that.
was directed by Nadine to do it the way she wanted me to do it.
Very good. Okay, I see. And we know for those, well, Sister Wright, bless your soul. I found out that Sister Nadine, she really is the pastor's church wife.
Right.
So basically, she's running the church. So Nadine said for you to do it this way. Okay. Well, if Sister Nadine said it's okay, I guess it's okay then. Because I just never seen it done that way. You get up there and sing, and then you finally do the announcement.
Correct.
We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. I just ain't never seen it done like that. But you know, I'm General Baptist and up here in North Carolina, and maybe they do it that way, and I just hadn't been to a church where they do it like that. But that's interesting. Well, Sister Wright, are you in a safe place?
I think so.
Okay. Sister Wright, I just want to say thank you for even coming on with me, because I know that that's taken a lot of courage for you to come on and be with me today. I want to commend you for being a good wife in a tough situation. I've heard people talk about Brother Wright, and I know that he's very, very religious, and he can use the Bible to kind of justify everything that he does and says. And I met with Satan and God too, and I'm just gonna tell you, just to ease your heart a little bit. Everything that looks like gold ain't gold. Everybody that can quote the Bible, they don't mean they're gonna make it in. And they didn't tell me who was gonna get into heaven, but they did tell me they looking beneath the surface of people. So I just want that to hopefully ease your heart a little bit, because I've heard that you are in a tough situation.
Unfortunately, I am. Now, my husband, um, he's one of the head deacons of the church. And granted, when we got together, there were so many other beautiful people and beautiful women, but he chose me. And so with him doing that, I have always made sure that I was the ideal wife for him. Anything that he wants, I try to meet his needs, and I try to just be him. But in doing that, sometimes I may make him upset. And when I do, sometimes he just does things to remind me not to make him upset. So I don't necessarily like it, but I try to do better the next time. And I just want to be a good wife and please my husband. That's all I want to do.
This must bash Mr.'s head open.
Well,
Cyrus.
somebody done said bash his head open, but we're not gonna do tit for tat.
I can't bash his head open because then he might be really upset with me. But what I try to do is be a good wife, and I try to know what he needs before he asks. I do everything. I try to do everything to be a good wife. I just want to be a good wife.
Sister Right. My Lord, my Lord. Being a good wife, first of all, God chose you. Don't ever forget that. God chose you from before time ever became in existence. And because God chose you and brought you into this world, you are valuable. You have value. You have value. And the fact that Brother Wright chose you, your value doesn't start with your relationship with him. Your value began with your relationship with God when he thought about you. And all I keep hearing you say is you want to be a good wife. And I've heard the talk in the community. I've heard the talk. I know he can be a bit abusive. Uh, I've heard there's some verbal abuse. Sometimes there may even be financial abuse. I didn't get clarity whether there was physical abuse, but the way that you even came on today told me, that you correct me, that you're being you're being brave, a little braver than what you've been in the past, and he has just timid you down. And all you can say is, I want to be a good wife. And they never all been a good wife. God knows it's not. That's the reason he made Eve for Adam. But we are supposed to be helpmates. We equal. The only person that's above us is God. And you have a lot to offer. A lot to offer. And I just hurt for you. And there are people in the community that will help you, but they're afraid to talk to you because they don't want to embarrass you. And they thought maybe since I'm an outsider and I'm just coming in getting to know everybody, I might be able to deliver a message to you so that you know that you're not alone with this. You're not alone.
Let me stop you right there. I understand God chose me, but my husband chose me out of all the other beautiful women that were in the church. He chose me. And so because he chose me and now I am his wife, I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure that Deacon Wright has everything he needs at no matter what cost it is, because when he's satisfied, they're satisfied. So thank you very much, but I'm going to stand with my husband.
Well, thank you so much. You've opened the door for me to get good understanding about something. Now, I was speaking with someone else, and it seems like the women in this community are going to do whatever they need to do to get whatever they want. Now, one woman was out there shaking her tail. I think, oh, I hope I can say that. She was shaking her hind parts and getting the money while the men are making it rain, and some of these men are in y'all church. Now, you're saying to me that and you were very respectful with it, but I just see a connection here that you're going to do whatever it takes to make your husband happy because he chose you out of all those other beautiful women. So do you not think you're beautiful? Or you don't think
Ma'am,
you're as pretty as they are?
that is irrelevant.
Oh,
My,
oh, but while you said it, I'm only going by what you
oh, no,
said.
maybe you're not understanding.
I'm not.
My purpose, my sole purpose is to be what my husband needs. And that's what I'm going to do. And I don't care what other women do. I don't have anything to do with anybody else. I have to make sure he can write is well and has what he needs. And that's what I'm going to do. Thank you. Thank you very
So
much.
you're very welcome. Now, what does he need?
He
And what
needs
are you giving?
he needs me.
And what are you giving?
Well, ma'am, I don't know you like that to share with you what goes on in our household.
Oh, I don't want
Because my
to know about what
husband
goes in your bedroom. That's what
told
I'm
me
talking about.
that what goes on in our household stays with us. So I don't have to tell you how I make sure to massage his feet every day after work, how I make sure that his meals are already prepared, that I have his drink fixed. I don't have to tell you all of that. I just do whatever he needs. And I usually try to anticipate his needs because we've been together for a long time. And I'm just there to make him happy.
Hmm. And I think that's wonderful. You know, when you can anticipate your mate's need and provide their meals. A lot of women provide their mates meal. Men do the same thing. Provide the mate's meal every day. The person has had a tough day or not had a tough day. It may be the way that they help them to relax. They'll give them a massage. If they drink, want a mixed drink or cocktails of some other sorts or whatever it is they like to drink. They don't have a problem doing that. That's all part of a normal, healthy relationship. And so, again, I think that's admirable. And is he meeting your needs too?
I have a home, a beautiful home to live in. We worship at a wonderful church.
What
I
church
don't have to
are y'all
work
attending?
now.
What church are y'all
We're
attending?
in the same church the rest of this community is a part of. That's our next workplace.
Oh,
So we're all a part of the church. He's one of the head deacons, and we teach the marriage ministry class, and we have lots of people that really admire and look up to him, and I admire and look up to him, and I am going to do whatever he needs and whatever it takes.
I think I'm glad to hear that you got a marriage ministry class. I was speaking with a young man and asked, did they have, and a young woman, I was asking, did they have anything for the young men and the young women in the church? And they said they didn't have a ministry for them. So I'm glad to know that they have a marriage ministry. Now, what is your role in the instruction for the marriage ministry?
I'm just there to support my husband as he teaches about the what it takes to have a successful. So I'm there to support him. I may get him some water while he's teaching, or I may give him hot tea, or just whatever he needs. Sometimes I hold his Bible for him, or I already type his notes up. So I'm just there to be his support.
And do y'all have children, Miss Wright?
Not at this time.
Okay. Would you like to have kids?
I did want babies, but my husband thought it probably wasn't best for us to have children. So, I just maybe one day.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, and I think that you're right with that. Our kids are a big responsibility, and I think both mates need to be on the same page as it comes to having children and starting that family, because it really does sort of shift the dynamics in a home. Because before, we could concentrate on each other, but when you have those children, you really do have to focus on them. So I commend you and your husband for making a decision that really is in the best interest of children and your home. So I think that's a wonderful thing.
Well,
So now,
really, but yeah,
now,
really didn't have.
The comments are blowing up. They are hilarious.
Are they saying, Felicia? Uh, Go here. Who is Nadine? Who is this Nadine? Sister Nadine's way. She is the, excuse me, y'all. She is the woman that runs everything at the church. It's got to be her way or no way. And she just happens to be an usher at this church, the Greater Trials Missionary Baptist Church. She wants the pastor, even though he got first lady. I'm just telling you how it is. She wants the pastor, even though he got a first lady. And so he leans on her for all the support. That's the reason she got this nice young girl getting up there singing. And instead of just getting up there and reading the announcements, that's who Sister Nadine is. She running everything. Hey, there's Cyrus done join us. He said, Pat, he just done. That's Cyrus.
He teaching marriage from caveman times.
It seemed like he is, and I thought Sister Wright had said that she was happening, but it seems like the only thing that she doing is serving him. And there's nothing wrong with serving your mates, you know, when it's a mutual serving. But it seems like to me, and this is me as in the audience now, Sister, right? I'm sorry. But as a woman sitting there with my fiance, well, you said marriage ministry, with my husband, they said caveman time. It's just not gonna be like that in my house. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be. But it's okay. But it's okay for you now.
Yeah, it's okay to say that's what works for us. And my husband loves me. He takes care of me. So that's what works for us. And I
Did you ever
think to make him mad or upset, and we're fine.
See, everything is good as long as you don't make him mad or upset.
Yes.
Teresa, you should ask her. You should ask her how she got that bruise on her face she had last Sunday. What happened?
But they tell me there was a bruise on your face last Sunday.
How'd
you get
down the church steps?
There are a set of steps at the church on the backside, and there's a loose board. And as I was taking my husband's things to the car, I must have missed a step or something happened. Fail. But it happens. It's okay. It happens.
Yes, ma'am. Let me tell you, this is going to be really funny for somebody. Yesterday, and this is the truth, I was watching, I just happened to see a glimpse of an episode of Big Valley. I'm going way back, guys. And it was going to be a bank robbery. This is no joke. And Barbara Stanwyck, Linda Evans, they were being held at gunpoint. And one of the men, he tripped. This is no joke. And his rifle went off and shot a hole in the barrel, and the water started, pouring out. And Victoria, Barbara Stanwyck, she looks back and said, you might want to get that heel fixed if you're going to be trying to be a bank robber. So what that says to me is, y'all might want to get them back steps fixed if people are going to be going up and down them, because see, that puts the church in a liable situation. Secretary, announcement secretary might want to take a note of that and get that to Sister Nadine, because when people start falling down them steps, the money that y'all bringing in for the pastor, it's going to go for the lawsuit. But I understand. That's how it happened. Okay, well, like Victoria, Barbara Stanwyck said, you might want to get those steps fixed. So that's how you got that bruise on your face from last Sunday.
Deacon Wright was out there with her, so I don't know.
Now,
I just, my husband has told me that that's our business. So I told you what happened, and that's all.
Okay.
Well, somebody here said in the comments if they could catch Brother Wright outside with a group of elephants, then somebody said, oh, okay, pick up a pistol. He needs one. Buy a coffin. Make him single. Oh, no, not teaching the marriage ministry. That's what I thought, too. He is teaching the marriage ministry. Well, I may have heard it wrong, Sister. I thought that y'all were teaching the marriage ministry, but then I saw that you're just there to cater to him. And and it almost seems to me like he is trying to say to the men, this is just regardless of what he's saying out of his mouth, but what you're showing is this is the way that the other women should interact with their husband. Even though you might say to me, I'm not saying that, but that's what you guys are demonstrating. And even though we don't say some things, as I always say, the children are watching, they're listening, and they are watching what we're doing. So even if we don't say, do this, they look at us as role models. And I understand it might be good for you. And if that's okay with you, that's great. But when you're out in public, and particularly in the marriage ministry, and this is what people are seeing, it's like you're saying that this is not a good, this woman's not, doesn't have a good marriage if she's not doing those things in church when her and her husband comes. And, you know, are you going on this trip?
Well, yes, my husband and I are going, but may I just say one thing to what you said? I'm not really big into secular music. My husband didn't really let me listen to it, but there is this one song I heard by this lady. I think her name is Beyonce. It's this song called Let Me Cater to You. And it seems like when they play that song, the world loves it. And I'm doing just that. And the Bible also teaches us to be submissive to our husbands. But I really don't understand what the problem is. And it's just like there may be more than one way to make a cake. That doesn't necessarily make my way wrong or yours, but the way I make my cake is the way I make it. So what we show the people that participate in the couples ministry is what works for us. And if it don't work, don't do it.
You know, you said a whole lot there. And what was that song again?
Let me cater to you.
Let me cater to you. You know, you have said a whole lot there. And I thank you for saying these things because you're right. Submission goes both ways. So we are supposed to submit to each other. So you talked about how you submit to your husband. How does he submit to you? And I know what goes on in your house stays in your house. So I'm just posing that question. I'm not looking for you to answer it today.
Okay,
but you have to think about that. How does he submit to you? Because you submit to him, and you're demonstrating that even with our conversation today. And then, of course, with how people see you interacting at the church, doing the couples ministry. And then, you know, let me cater to you. You know, as you stated, there's many ways to make a cake. Let me go back to Aretha. A rose is still a rose. So if it stinks, it still stinks, regardless of how you put it together. So what we have to do is realize at some point we have to take responsibility. When I had a conversation with God and Satan, we talked about the number of times that he kept giving individuals an opportunity to do better, but they still never did it. And even though we're talking here, for those of us who don't know nothing about your marriage, only what we see, it appears that there is some could possibly be, just possibly, we're on the outside looking in, we don't know, could possibly be some domestic violence happening there. But when people come and try to help you, and we repeatedly walk away from those people, you know, we ask God to send help, and he said, I sent my so-and-so, and you walked away from them. I sent this, and you walked away from this, and so on and so on and so on. He gives us our opportunity to get out of situations, but sometimes our minds and our hearts keep us tied to the situation, and we're not able to get out. But when we get to Judgment Day, because I done all I could do. Ooh, I just don't like that phrase. It's such a joke between me and my sister. I did all I could do. But you think because you bore the brunt, not you, but people think because they bore the brunt of something that was not good, that's then going to give them a pass into heaven. Most likely, it's not. Because you see, we still have free will. So that means you become a willing participant in something that is not healthy for you and not healthy for the people around you. As I said to someone, we are a part of a collective. We're part of a hive because we're part of God. And when I hurt myself, I hurt everybody else. And when I do things that indirectly may hurt someone, I'm still responsible because we're part of a collective. And so, given the fact that I know Judgment Day is going to happen for the people that are on that unforgettable trip, all I can just do is say, I'm as I say in the church, I pray for you, Sister Wright. I pray for you. That's all I can do is
So
pray
may
for
I
you.
just propose one other thing?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
I've never been married before. The only thing I have to base my marriage on is what my understanding of what the scripture says and what I saw my mother and father endure. Only thing I can tell you, ma'am, is that I honor my husband. I try to be a good wife to him. I honor my marriage vows. And I just love the Lord. So wherever I may have a deficit or I don't always make the best choices or decisions, I don't have anywhere to go. And these people you speak of that offer me help, no one's ever offered me help. People mock me and they joke about what I endure and what they wouldn't do. Well, this man is all I have. And so I don't have anything else. And so I am doing the best that I know how to do. And I just believe that somewhere God is going to honor that.
Yes, ma'am. And I thank you for your being vulnerable here with us, because you're not the only one in that situation, where you just don't have anywhere else to go. You may not even have ever really worked outside the home, don't have money, may have education, but don't have the job skills to put down on an application. And I think the other thing that you said, Sister Wright, that is so important. I talked about the children watching and listening. We learn from the environment that we're raised in. And as you said, you learn from your mom and dad. And if your mom, unfortunately, was in a similar situation, it normalizes it for you because that's all that you know. My one question would be, if your mom is still living, and you may have never done this, but if you have a good relationship with her where she'll be really honest and not around your dad, ask her sometime, how did you feel living with daddy when he did this to you? And maybe she'll be honest, and that may give you some insight, because sometimes even as adults we don't ask the question that needs to be asked because we're still in our mind a child, but because of what you saw, it influenced your relationship with your husband. It influences your ideas about life and marriage. So that's just one thing that I would ask you, if you could ask your mom if she's still living, and a time when you're not around your dad, if he's living, how did that make you feel? Why did you stay? If you could do it over again, would you still stay in that situation? Because it is tough. And you're right. It's easy for people to say to me as an outsider that, yeah, oh, I'll help Sister Wright this and that. But I heard you say that they mock you. And it's easy for people to mock someone too when they are not in that person's shoes. Or they could be in your shoes, but it makes them feel better to mock you versus dealing with what they have to deal with.
So,
So it can be such an intricate thing.
I go to the church, of course, because this is where my husband says go. But those women they make fun of me and they think I don't know it. They say stuff like, if he says to bark, I bark. They do that. But what I have to stand strong on is I'm going to honor my husband because that's the vow that I took. And if God shows me to do different, I will do that. But until then, I'm not going to be influenced by anybody else talking about what they do and don't do. Because from what my husband shared with me, a lot of those women that think their husband got it all together, they got another thing coming too.
Well, now I'm glad you said that now, because that's the reason I said what church you go to, because
Oh, I go to trials. I am a proud member of Greater Trials. But again, I go there because that's where my husband is head deacon. But I'm going to tell you, all of those women in there talking about me, if they knew what their husbands was doing, the joke would be on them.
Well, let me tell you, they know. They know. Brother Baller's wife knows. First Lady is fully aware, and I thought that Champagne was going to join us today. Doesn't seem like she's going to be able to make it. She is fully aware of how he gets the what's the word I want? Looking. What word can I use? Just that's it. She be looking like you looking, but he be like every time that girl come walking down the
Oh,
aisle and
y'all,
stuff. And she be
y'all.
wanting to throw a some book and hit him in the face. She told me, but bless
But
him with it. Bless.
I mind my business because my husband told me to mind my business. But I promise you, everybody laughing and talking about me. If they only knew what was happening in their own house, maybe they would look at themselves a little bit.
You're right, and I'm telling you, Greater Trials Missionary Baptist Church is not. Well, some things are a little different, but the themes and the people and the families, they're in every community, in all communities. And so, it's not like you guys are any different from anyone else. These are things that are happening every day in communities, in churches. It's just that I've been visiting your community and people have been giving me the skinny. And as I've been talking to folks, they be trying to throw shade on somebody else. And, other people be like, but you pointing the finger at them, you got what they say, you got four pointing back at yourself or whatever. And I'm like, okay. But again, just know if I came across tough on you, I only want the best for you. And you got my contact information.
Yes,
So even when I leave, if you just need a friendly voice to talk to, no judgment, because I see where you at. And sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. And I'm not gonna see these people no more. You can always reach out to me. I just want the best for you. And but I do say talk to your mama if she's still living and just see, how does she feel about it, because we don't know how our parents feel. We just see
right,
them and we know something, we don't feel good about something that's happening, but we never ask them, well, how did that make you feel when this happened? Well, why didn't you do this? But they may have tried to do something, but we wouldn't know it because we were young. And so
right.
again, it's just so important. But now let me flip back over here to our announcement secretary. Let me say this, Sister Right. Sister Nadine got a lot going on. So don't let her make you feel no kind of way.
I,
Because she got a lot going on. She won't even let Kenny go on the trip. She won't even let him stay at the house, and he's a good man. Yeah, I know he go to the strip joint a couple of times a month, but I know a lot of other not ministers, excuse me, a whole lot of other people from y'all church go there too.
uh-huh,
Um, I know. I'm telling you, you just wouldn't believe how these people unloaded on me. And but I can only talk about it with you guys. I can't talk about it when I leave here. But yeah, and so don't you feel that she's better than you? Sister Nadine got a lot of stuff going on that she's gonna probably have to deal with, and gonna probably have to deal with it pretty soon when she get Judgment Day. But I want to flip back over here to another young, impressionable woman that is kind of, how do I say, you're not, well, done took Nadine on as a mentor. And I was speaking with Amber. Amber. Everybody knows she works down at one, everybody know that Amber's a stripper. So I hear your sister, right? It's a lot going on in the church. That Amber's a stripper, and some of the men that's from the church be down there giving her money, but she told me she gives that money back to the church, and I guess that's the reason the men give it to her, because they know she's gonna bring it right on back to the church. So they just another way to get it back into the house of the
for
Lord.
sure.
But but it's like we got two young women who Nadine seems to have a lot of influence over, and that gives me pause, since she has young girls in her home that are needing her attention, but she's not giving them the attention they need. And here it is, this young lady is getting up there to read the announcements, but she gonna put on a concert first every Sunday, and then she gonna read the announcement. I know. I just had never heard nothing like that before. Um, Can I ask, where is your mama at, young lady? I talked to Amber mama yesterday or whenever I was talking to some folks. Where is your mama at?
She doesn't attend the church.
How did you get hooked up with this church?
Sister Nadine reached out to me.
Well, how did you even know Sister Nadine? Y'all
Oh, we
work together?
yes, we worked together. And she heard me singing, and then she came over and she said, I want you to do the church announcements for me. But I want you to start out by singing first and then go into the announcements. And I said, okay.
Let me there's How old are you, young lady? How old are you?
I'm 49.
Still a young lady. You still a young lady. Age doesn't matter. Now you work with Nadine. Now is she your boss or y'all just work together as co-workers?
We're just co-workers.
And who was working there first?
I was.
I read both books. And I'm about like Sister Wright. I read both books. And it seems like to me, Sister Nadine has got a lot of influence on you because she's at the job and basically you need to stay in her good graces in order to keep your job. And now she got you up there performing. Y'all got to know Nadine. There's 2 books. Y'all need to get to know this woman. She's something. So now she done took you from the job and got you up there at the church singing a concert and then doing the announcements. And you feel good about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you invited your mom to come over and see you perform?
Yes, ma'am.
And did she come?
No.
What'd that tell you? You can't pay for me. No attention.
My mom said she didn't heard about the stuff that's going on at the church, so she's not interested in coming.
And do you have a good relationship with your mama?
Yes, ma'am.
You love your mama?
Ma'am.
Do you love your mama?
I do. Yes, ma'am.
Do you trust your mama?
I do.
Think she got good intuition?
She does.
Well, why ain't you listening to your mama? Cause you see,
well, I mean,
she won't come up to that church.
Because I get to do something that I like to do, which is sing.
There are other ways to use your voice. Y'all have a very rich community. All the shows, there's a lot of showing going on at your church, but there are other ways in your community that you can get involved in music and plays. Why wouldn't you do that? And more people could even see you than the people at that church. Have you thought about that?
Well, Nadine has a very strong influence on me, so she won't allow me to go outside the church. She strictly wants me to sing there. And the trade is I get to sing and do something I like to do.
Wait a minute now. I'm trying to get my notes here. Okay, I'm not going to be able to read them, but I'm trying to get them. Okay. Sister Nadine's ways.
Yes.
Sister Nadine's ways. We talked a lot about Sister Wright and her marriage. Are you married, young lady?
Yes, ma'am, I'm married.
Is your husband, does he attend this church also?
No, ma'am.
What does he think about you attending the church there and doing that big performance every Sunday and then actually reading the announcements?
He doesn't like it. He wants me to leave. He says a lot
of
drama.
A lot of drama. So even the people out in the community that don't go to church, they know about the drama over there at Greater Trials, huh?
Yes.
They call your mama tags.
Well, let me ask this question to you. Because I've tried to give it write it down real quick. Sister Nadine and her ways is the inspiration for this wonderful, wonderful gospel stage play. You need to see it. April 29th. Did I hear you say that she won't allow you to go outside the church and showcase your talent. Did you say that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you's married.
Yes, ma'am.
And your husband feel like something wrong at that church.
Correct.
And your mama feel like something wrong at that church.
Yes, ma'am.
So now this is interesting. This is interesting. I'm telling you, this is a really good play. This is interesting. So normally people be under the thumb of the pastor.
Mm.
You under the thumb of Sister Nadine.
Yes, ma'am.
The question becomes, who is really running Great Trials Missionary Baptist Church? Pastor Craig or Nadine? Because obviously, I'm sorry, Sister Wright, it's not the deacons. Who is running that church?
Sister Nadine.
There it is.
Thank you for being honest. Because she won't allow you. So basically, excuse my French now, y'all. Don't y'all get me? You was a slave to her on your job because you see, you done got mixed up with this woman now. And see, she'd make sure you lose your job. I done read both books. You see, you make sure you lose your job. And now she done got your hoodwink over here at the church. So she's just like a puppet master, just pulling your string and won't allow you, get this, allow you. I hear what you're saying, Sister, right? There's a lot going on over there. And these people worrying about what's going on in your house when these women, this one woman, is running the church, running the men, and running the women. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is an awesome, awesome stage play. Now, I just delved just a little bit here today. Now, I'm going to ask our actors to tell you why. Now, I haven't told you need to come see this play. Why you need to go and see this gospel stage play. I'm going to start with Sister Wright, Patricia Smith. You know, she's my cousin. You know, we're all related, but we really are related. But I'm going to start with Patricia Smith, my cousin, and she's going to tell you why y'all need to be there and see this play.
This play, everyone does need to see this play because it is a wonderful array of situations. We know that in the Black community, the church is the most important thing, or one of the most important things in our community. That's where we have our sense of being. We learn how to do public speaking. We learn how to sing. We do everything in the church. And so for some people, they are so ingrained in their church that they feel like that's their only way to get in to see God is by going to church. But this play shows us how even everyday folk that are going to the church every Sunday still can miss it, if you will, because sometimes we focus so much on religion and not relationship. So this play gives us a good array of all of that. And it's so in alignment with what scripture says. The scripture teaches us that the ones out that was going to make it may not be the ones that are there. And the ones that you think won't make it may be the ones that do. So I'm going to just kind of leave it right there. But it's just showing that we've got to do more than just be religious if we want to make it in. So it's more than about religion. It's about relationship.
Thank you so much, Patricia. You are so right. Now, to my announcement secretary, Miss Thomas, why should people come out and see this play?
Well, just based off of what Ms. Wright said, it's just basically the typical things that happen in life every day. Again, we think that we're going to make it into heaven, but yet we think that the simple things that we do are going to go unnoticed, but they don't. And a lot of it is in the church.
Unfortunately, and as Felicia would say, it's the little things that's going to keep
It's
us
the little
out of
things.
heaven.
That's correct. And it's hilarious.
Little things.
It's so funny.
Well, I hope they can see that it's hilarious because, guys, this is not scripted. This is not scripted.
Right.
And you see how both of these actors are tremendous. They kept up with me and I kept going with them, and they say something, I'm just, we're going to go this way, we're going to go that way. This is the caliber of actors that are in this play. And I have met with probably just about everybody,
Yeah.
and they're all phenomenal. So therefore, please, please come out, laugh, cry, get a word, go back home, laugh, cry some more when you think about it, and say, "Oh, I gotta get a DVD," because oh, when they said XYZ, they were speaking to me. I need to hear that over and over again. I mean, really, it's just like a sermon. But it's going to be delivered to you. This message is going to be delivered in a different way. And it's a message for all of us, including me. So I can't make it, but I'm going to get a DVD. So, Felicia, tell them how they can get tickets, and also tell them from your perspective how, why this was laid on your heart. Because you're a phenomenal writer. But why this each play was laid on your heart, and what it means for you to be able to bring this to the masses.
Thank you, Teresa, first of all, for interviewing us. It's been phenomenal. We have thoroughly enjoyed it. To do this stage play production I felt important because you can read it and visualize it in your head, but when you actually see people bring it together and they bring it to life, I think you can better possibly see yourself, or you can possibly see someone you know, and it could be that you would say, it's something I just can't quite put my hands on about this person. But when you see it on the stage, it comes to life, and it's more real. It becomes real for you, a reality. And I think it's a better way to reach people where they may transform their thoughts, their feelings or viewpoints about things. It can also allow them to be able to open their eyes and see. And so I thought a stage play was something unique and interesting, but it would be an attention grabber, and it would be a good time for everybody, on top of it being a serious issue and some serious things being brought to light. And I'm going to invite everyone to come out to Hines Community College in Utica, Mississippi, on April 29th at 3 p.m. to see this amazing God-given cast bring this to life. The doors will open at 2 p.m. You can still get tickets on eventbrite.com. There will be no ticket sales at the door. If you're not able to make it, as Teresa said, we'll have DVDs available. If you just want to donate and support the production, please do, because we still definitely need your donations. Any of the cast members, if you know them or you're connected with them on Facebook or social media, reach out to them if you want to get tickets, or again, if you just want to make a donation, or if you want to attend the VIP meet and greet of the cast that's going to take place at the end of the production. Again, it's 3 p.m., Hines Community College in Utica, Mississippi, April 29th. Be in the house. It's a different experience when you're actually sitting there.
Now, you guys have heard Felicia. She said you need to be in the house. You want to be in the seat, because these actors are phenomenal. You want to laugh. You want to cry. And I shouldn't say this, but I'm reminded of Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. And they went to the opera, and she said, I almost peed my pants. And Richard Gere, the lady says to Richard Gere, what did she say? It's better than the something of pizzazz. So what I'm saying is, you're going to be on the edge of your seat. And there's no better place to be on the 29th of April than there watching this play with all these other people, laughing, crying, and about to, as Julia would say, pee your pants. So I want to know who's going to be there. I want you to come back, and I want you to leave comments and say, oh, I was there and it was absolutely the best, because these lives are going to be on my Instagram. They're on my YouTube. So you come back and you say how the experience was. Again, we want to bring this to your community, and it's nothing like seeing it live. I, Felicia, have had a wonderful time interviewing the cast of the Brownie and Unforgettable trip. You guys are a trip. And I thank you for the opportunity to get to know this wonderful cast. And I cannot wait to get back with you and maybe a couple cast members so we can talk about what it really was like to finally bring this play to life and how people received it on April 29th. So
Yeah.
I look forward to that. And Felicia, anything else we need to say?
I
Yeah,
just
you
I just
sponsors?
wanted to add, we do plan on having some security for Deacon Wright at
Yes.
the end of the production, just in case it's needed. And
Thank you, thank you. You might need some, you might need some security for a lot of these different folks. I'm telling you,
that's true.
it might get real because I tell you that champagne is elusive. And I just, every time I think I'm gonna have a little conversation with her, she seems to skirt it on by.
Yeah,
But I don't think Lady Craig is gonna keep letting that happen. I
right,
think
right.
she's had enough between Nadine and this champagne. I think she's had enough. Now, are there any sponsors that you need to thank?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I want to thank, first of all, we want to thank the men of Kappa Alpha Psi, the Jackson Alumni Chapter, for their sponsorship. Also, my sorors of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I want to also thank Lee's Coffee and Teas, Fox Realty. I also want to thank Anita Young Photography and Image Limitless, Jumbo Wars, and other sponsors that we have. And I can't leave out Pleasant Green Missionary Baptist Church. They have been so gracious to allow us to be able to rehearse at their facility, as well as Christ Covenant Church International. So I'm just very, very grateful for all the people that have supported financially for this production to take place. And I look forward to meeting all of them personally on April 29th.
All right, then, guys, we thank you, all the actors, we thank all the sponsors, and we thank the playwright and the director and the assistant director for this wonderful play. I look forward to talking with you guys after the 29th. And to my audience, thank you so much for joining me for Talk with Taz Live. Until next time, take care of you so you can take care of someone else. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Teresa.